Today I'm going to show you how I went about making this pencil drawing. I lightly sketch in some lines, and with composition in mind, I am marking in some basic shapes. I'm thinking about proportions, and when I'm happy with the proportions, the next step is to start laying down some values. For this, I almost always start with the face. I'm not very particular about this stage, just blocking in the hair and some of the darker shadows, and just starting to develop some of the darker tones in the hat. You might notice I'm not doing any smudging or blending yet at all. Just using the pencils and gradually building up the values. Now I'm starting to smudge a little bit and darken up some of the values. Smudging helps with smooth blends and transitions, but I almost always have to go back in with the pencils to sort of reestablish some of those darker values. So I start working on the hands, and it's the same as the rest of the piece. It's just blocking in the values and the shapes. I'm roughing in the reins, and I'm starting to darken the horse. So I never really went over what I'm using for materials. I'm using Strathmore 9x12 paper and some Stettler pencils and a kneaded eraser. For the pencils, I'm using a HB, a 2H, a 2B, a 4B, and a 6B. So I'm thinking about my light source in this piece, and it's pretty much coming from the center, maybe a little off center to the right side. You can see the right side of her is a little more lighter in value, and the left side of her face is more enveloped into the shadows. Same as the left side of her body, her stomach and her pelvic area is a little lighter on the right side. The light highlights are on the right side. It really is just a lot of back and forth, building up values and sometimes taking away from them if you go too dark in areas with, usually using the kneaded eraser. But there's usually a lot of going back and forth, at least in my process. Guys, don't be afraid to go too dark. You can always take away from it. Here I'm using the blending stump
to almost paint some of those darker values in where they need to be.
I love doing portraiture work, and I love working in black and gray scale. There's just something more authentic to it, and it just fits my style and my mood. I do work in color. I just honestly feel I'm more skilled at the black and gray stuff. But there definitely is times where I create with color and actually need to create with color.
Here I'm using my kneaded eraser quite a bit. It really is a great tool for that back and forth of values that I was talking about.
So I know for a beginner it might not be reasonable to follow this video and draw at this speed. This is sped up quite a bit. This drawing probably took me 45 minutes or so to complete. And for you guys that are actually trying to draw along with this, I recommend to pause the video at certain spots. So I want to take a minute and talk a little bit about pencil leads. So an HB is the equivalent to a number 2 pencil, and it is basically in between a hard and a soft lead, hence the H and the B. H meaning hard lead and B black or soft lead. So you got a B pencil, which is black or hard or soft lead, and then you got 2B, 4B, 6B, 8B, 10B, and the higher number it is, the softer that lead will be on the B pencils. And it's kind of reversed with the H, whereas the higher the number up on the H pencils, the harder the lead. Then you also got an F, which is good for fine details. So just to recap on that, the B pencils are darker, softer lead, but they're much darker. The H pencils is a harder lead, but that's how you achieve the softer tones, the lighter tones. Well, one of the ways. Like I said earlier, don't be afraid of going too dark. You want contrast. Also, remember to take a step back from your drawing at times. It helps to see the values. Also, the proportions and just the overall picture, the composition of the piece. Towards the end of this whole process, my pencil strokes become more
intentional. I am reestablishing values, refining details, and I am using my eraser a lot to add in highlights. I started this channel recently. I've been creating art for a long time, and like any artist that loves to try new mediums, for some reason I have completely avoided video and filmmaking, and here I am learning a new medium while hopefully maybe providing some value or entertainment to you guys. So if you did get anything from this video, or if you did enjoy watching it, please like and subscribe. Mainly subscribe.